of that?
First, you realize that the president has backpedaled on a constitutional process to allow and accommodate, like I said earlier, to accommodate the views from Azimio and their concern. This is akin to a football match where one team has perpetually ganged up against the referee. It's always the same result. Let me tell you, this is a product of IEBC amendment bill in last parliament. We debated, and it was bullied through by the previous regime and the Handshake brothers, because that is what they wanted. Okeya Omtata went to court. When Okeya Omtata went to court, because Parliament had an undue advantage, but because we were close to election, nonetheless, the court allowed that they can serve that term, but we have to relook at it. With the same team that even we at that time in Kenya Kwanza did not feel comfortable with, we went to an election. And the results were announced, and William Ruto won against all what was perceived to be a team that was allied to the other side. And that is what you see of the product of Cherera 4. If it were up to me, Sam, I'll tell you one thing. You should totally disallow politicians from participating in selection of those who will be in the IEBC panel. Because number one, what are we doing with Arifari? You know, all of us are a product of IEBC. Why would we want to have our hand on an election process? It has nothing to do with us. But now, since that is what they want, it is okay. All we are saying is that if this is what will give peace to this country, let us give Azimio what they want. Because at the end of the day, and people should have this in their mind, election is not decided by IEBC. It is not. Election are decided by the people of Kenya. People should go out and campaign and get their votes on the ground. What we are talking about here is just creating mistrust and apprehension in the country for an unnecessary reason. Because even if Robert Mbui today is made the IEBC commissioner, what will he do to change the results? What can he do? People believe, you know, and there's this myths of, oh, there's a server, there are some brilliant fellows who will interfere with the election here and there. There's a Davis Chichir somewhere there. Myths that don't exist. Elections are won in polling stations. We are all products of elections. Robert Mbui is serving his third term because he's been elected by his people, not because of some server and an imaginary election masculation by some individual somewhere. So for me, I do not care what they want. Let us have a constitutional process. If that discussion is constitutional, it is okay. There's a court ruling, and if they are saying now we go back, which we've backpedaled against, by the way, someone can even go to court because we are backpedaled to allow these guys to catch up with us and give their names of who they feel they want. And I think, like rightfully Robert did say, I think probably this is the only thing that we'll agree with, is that let the bipartisan team then engage. If they feel that they want to give two or one name, it is perfectly okay. Everyone had given their name, save for them. So if that will allow them now to come to some sort of understanding, and we have that team formed and given out, so be it.
But you don't have a cap on how many there should be? Out of 7 panelists, you don't have a number?
Then it will involve an amendment. It will again involve an amendment in Parliament. Already there's a number that we are supposed to have.
That's what I'm saying, because at the moment it's 7.
It is 7, yeah.
They are complaining that you reduce Parliamentary Service Commission from 4 to 2, which they feel it's to the disadvantage of
the But it was a court ruling, sir.
Yes, so I'm looking for the solution.
There's no solution. The court ruled that, and you saw it, what happened. You know, Cherera 4 was a product of this kind of amendment, which I think still think that it was wrong. So there's nothing we can do about it. The court has ruled in that favor. To me, let me say, they can change the names, but the numbers should remain the same.
Honorable Wako, what are your thoughts to fixing that? Because after every election, that act has been amended.